What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 19th of June, and here we are with about 9 hours, 23 minutes left in the day, sitting at $104,000, just above there. What's $300 to a $104,000 asset? That's not much. The hair is bouncy, the price is not. We're probably going to break down, and we're probably going to go lower. That's the that's the expectation here. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame, and then we'll zoom out. Okay, 1 hour time frame. Looking at it here, I would believe that there are probably a bunch of people, maybe a bunch of people who are watching the price like a hawk, and they're seeing that this trend line's holding up. And as long as this trend line holds, we're probably okay, guys. But typically, what happens in these trend lines is that you do get a nice bounce the first time, and obviously, I mean, how would you know that this is a trend line? It's just the first bounce. You get a nice bounce the first time. The second time, you get a less substantial bounce, and then the third time, it's even less substantial. Normally, you kind of fizzle away, and then you break down on that third attempt there, but it's looking like we're going to get a fourth attempt, and we likely will break out, you guys. It's very unlikely that we bounce here, at least in my opinion. It's very unlikely that we go down and we bounce here. We probably will break through this area. And then right as soon as we break this area, all the geniuses will say, we've broken out of support or structure or whatever, and we're going down. This means bad things. And then as soon as that happens, that's probably where we'll find support and then reverse this thing. I am, fingers crossed, hoping for some kind of support around 100K to 102K. If we don't get that, we will likely go down to that 93, maybe even just below 93. But not to 92. It'd be like just below 93K to 95, 96K area, something in there. I would at least expect that we break below 96K if we were to break below 100K. But again, that's not my expectation at the moment. My expectation at the moment is if we break through this, likely we will find a slightly higher low. It's below this trend line that will find support. Maybe we'll get a double bottom. Maybe we'll even go slightly lower than that, but some kind of interaction with the $100,000. Find support there, and then continue to move up. Whenever we do move up, whenever we finally do see new all-time highs, you guys, that will validate, solidify, cement our reality that Bitcoin will never go below $100,000 again. It will just never happen again. All kinds of institutions have been buying this past 4 weeks, you guys. I've just heard of billions and billions and billions, like hundreds of billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. Maybe not hundreds of billions, but definitely billions that have been being put into Bitcoin every single week. Seems like almost every single day I hear something new about different institutions or Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy buying. Like, we're definitely in a position now where I think the financial institutions of the world, the governments of the world, they're aware that this is a fleeting moment where Bitcoin is below $100,000, and they know that the retail is scared that if we move down, we're in some kind of bear market, double top, whatever. They know that any kind of move down would impact the price, impact the emotional level of the people who are holding, people who are new, people who are tourists and don't have patience. They know that if they sell, they're going to have a lot of liquidity adding to their bags right around this prime area of 100K before it goes higher. And at this point, $100,000 might seem like it's an expensive price for Bitcoin, but it's really cheap, guys. Like, it's really, really cheap. We're below $1 million. Bitcoin's still cheap, y'all. And the institutions know it. Right? If you can buy Bitcoin at $100,000 with the intent of selling it at $1 million someday, and all you have to do is wait 10 years or less, and it's probably going to be a lot less than 10 years. It'll probably be like 5 years or less, honestly. Then yeah, that's child's play for institutions, man. 10x in 5 years or less, and it's like a quote unquote guarantee because it's Bitcoin. That's child's play. They are eating it up right here, and any price that it goes lower, they're only going to eat it up more. There's a reason why volume's dying off as we're going lower. There's nobody wants to sell. All the people who want to sell, they're either out of the markets now or they're about to be whenever we move down here. But let's look at the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour RSI. Let me do this real quick. I wish these things weren't so big. We don't need all that space. We can chill a little bit. Let's see. There we go. Stochastics are in the oversold zone. RSI does have lower lows, and you are finding resistance above the 50 right there, just below the 60 even. It's not a good look in itself. We're on the Coinbase chart. Volume's picking up a little bit as we're dropping here, but it's nothing too crazy. So I will say this doesn't validate what I'm saying that we're going down, but I still stand to that. I think that we will go down. Should I take that high to low or low to high, or should I take this low to high? I think I should take this one because it's the overall resounding like range. 886 up to the 236,382 area, and then back down. Once you get back below $104.2 thousand, once this happens, you likely will solidify the idea that we do go below this area here, and you probably find support around 102.7K to 102K. Bitcoin and crypto have been frisky with their 1886200, so maybe 101.4 to 101.1K will be the area that we find support, but something lower would be my expectation. Looking at the RSI, I don't have a problem calling for that, right? Lower highs in the price. You can see it here, right? Lower highs here. Higher highs in the RSI, or at least like double, triple tops, whatever. Hidden bearish divergence right there. Stochastics are weak, and you could be bouncing here. Your orange line, your slower oscillator here, has not been oversold the last couple of times. It might make sense that it does get oversold, so with that I would expect you to go lower. 17 minutes left in this 1 hour time frame. It looks like it wants to reverse and go down. You got a pretty big wick to the upside there. You just found resistance at prior support. I would think you go lower. The MACD is rejecting off of the zero line. Classic endeavor, so probably going to go down. Just flipping bearish momentum there. Yeah, you're probably going to go down. That's probably what's going to happen. Absolutely. I know that some people, and I just want to address this here, some people think that you don't need these oscillators, and maybe you don't for the MACD. You don't need the oscillators. You just need the histogram, right? That's fine if you want to do that, but I think you're setting yourself up for a lack of information, right? Look at how many times you find support on the zero line. You're finding resistance on it now. There's divergences that happen with the oscillators, just like they do with the histogram. If you're not using the oscillators, you're basically like willfully taking away one eye. It's like you're just looking at this with one eye, and you could have two if you wanted. Why not? You know, don't be lazy. Just learn how to use the oscillators. It's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. They're there to help you. They're there for a reason. The zero line, all this right here, this is not all these numbers. That this is not for the Mac or for the histogram. I mean, maybe so that you can tell where you are as far as these readings go, but it's mainly for the oscillators, at least from what I know about the MACD. 4 hour time frame, rejecting off the 50 line on the RSI. Stochastics looks sad, and the MACD is kind of looking bullish, but if we want to maintain this bullish posturing, we could even go below this low and still maintain it, and again, that would break us right out of our ascending low trend here, and as soon as we break below that, that's where we find support, right around 102K. It makes sense to me. We could build this bearish momentum a little bit more and still not, and we would still have bullish divergence right here on the MACD, rejecting the zero line again. And from what I've gathered with the MACD, typically, like if the blue line gets above the zero, that's cool, that's exciting, but it's the orange line that needs the slower moving average that needs to get above the zero line, and even that's a rejection. Just like the RSI, right? Like if we're looking at the RSI here, this is still a rejection of the overbought zone. Even though you got above there, you got in and out. It's a rejection, right? So we definitely rejected the zero line here. I would anticipate that we go lower there, right? We are losing volume, right? But don't think of this as like we're losing volume as we're moving down. I think that we're at this area. We're in this kind of consolidation phase here, and we're losing volume, right? That means we're about to break out. Whenever you have a lack of volume, or your volume is slowly dying off and you're getting mature in a consolidation phase, that typically means that you're about to break out one way or the other, and when the volume comes in to back up that move, that will substantiate it, that'll validate it, and maybe there will be no volume. I mean, maybe we break out and there's no volume, and then it like has like very weak volume, something like that, and that's a reason to expect a reversal, something like that. You know, look for that as well. And again, probably on the Coinbase chart or the Binance chart, because those have the most volume. Nothing else really, as far as volume goes. I don't think any other chart really matters. Maybe Bybit. But yeah, rejecting the 50 here, I would think you get oversold. And with that, there's very little doubt in my head that I do believe that we go down to 102K, if not lower, something around this low. Maybe not below it, but something around this low. And again, if we get below that low, if we do get below $100,000, it's very likely that we will see prices down at 95. I would say, let's say 96K to 92.8K, 92.5K, something like that. Okay. We do have bullish divergence on the stochastics here. Yes, we had bullish divergence on the MACD, but that's what this move was. It's completed, right? The divergence formed here, so we don't have to go any higher. We're finding resistance at prior support here, and looking like we want to go lower. Yes, looking at the daily time frame. Daily time frame now gives me a little bit of hope. This is where I think we're not going to break down to 95K or lower, right? If we're looking at this MACD here, just like I was saying, we might find support at this zero line. I can't imagine. Okay, so one of two things is going to happen here, okay? If we were to find support at that zero line, we're probably going to go down a little bit, hang on the edge of a cliff here, and then slowly return back up, or maybe sharply return back up to see an end of month rally. And I think that we will see an end of month rally. If I'm wrong and we go lower, then what I would anticipate is that it's a very quick, short-lived, it might be scary, a flash crash, if you will, a big wick to the downside that pulls all the way up, and we close up high enough to where the MACD does not cross the zero line. The blue line might, but the orange line, the slower moving average, would likely not. Or if it does, it gets some kind of false cross, like down here, right, where you like barely cross below the zero line. You can't really see it, but it's like right here below the zero line, something like that. Still finding support at the zero line. If we were to move down to this area, 96 to like 93K, I would anticipate that it's a very quick wick, and then we pull back up in a very, very short amount of time. I'll go live if that happens. I'll go live to hold your hand and be like, hey, everything's okay. Don't listen to the news. No. Listen to me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. All right, we're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. In fact, Bitcoin loves to shit the bed real fast and then reverse real fast. It loves to wick and scare people and then pull back up. That's what it does. That's what it does. Don't believe me? We go back to this low, all the way back here. Not any low, but the low of this overall consolidation range was here. And look at how fast we moved to the downside and then back up instantly. Did we just rip to new all-time highs after that? No, we consolidated a little bit and then we ran. I'm not really expecting that here. I don't think that after we find support, wherever we find support, whether it's right here, like I'm kind of expecting right now, or if we do go down to this area really fast and then we come back up, I'm not expecting that we draw this out and then it's like the end of July that we start pumping. I'm not expecting that. I do think that July is going to be a good month, basically all the way through. But anything can happen. I would expect a rapid recovery to happen after this, and yeah, we're almost done with this consolidation phase here. We absolutely are. I believe that this is a diamond top pattern, right? That's the expectation here. Diamond here. We've got lower highs, higher lows, the whole shebang. It looks like a diamond top to me. Yes, there are some price action. There is some price action that's outside of the diamond top. Hold on. Okay, so there is some price action that's outside the diamond, and that's actually very normal for a diamond pattern. That's kind of how you know you have a diamond pattern, is that it disrespects the lines a little bit. It's one of the only patterns that I know of that actually is okay with doing that, right? Diamond patterns are notorious for breaking out one direction, and then reversing the other direction. They're notorious for that. It's about 50-50. It's not a guarantee that happens, but it's typical behavior to break out and then pull back through the breakout point. And all I can say is, being at this all-time high consolidation area, if we were to do something like this, we definitely pile on the shorts. We definitely scare the markets. Even that degree, we're only at 104K, and we're talking about a price that wouldn't even take you down like 4%, and that would shake out the markets. And then rapid recovery. If we do something like this, everybody's going to be on board with the new all-time highs happening in a very short amount of time. We definitely would see an end-of-month rally, and that's kind of what I'm anticipating at this moment in time. I could be wrong. Maybe we just move up. Maybe we just break out and we go higher. That'd be cool too. I would love that, actually. It's my favorite thing, man. It's my favorite thing whenever I see the trolls in the comments saying, "Ha, we moved up. You suck." I'm like, yeah, I suck, man, and I'm making money. Isn't that great? Isn't it great whenever you're just terrible at investing and you're making money? Isn't it great? I love it. I really hope that we move up and we prove me wrong, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I'm not talking just to be wrong, right? It's not about being wrong or being right anyways. It's about making money at the end of the day. If you care about being right or being wrong, that's cool. I care about making money. And if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. I'm going to make money. If I'm right, cool. We're going to go down and I'm right, but that sucks because now we're not making money. But I get an opportunity to buy at lower prices, and so do the rest of you, right? Hopefully nobody shakes out. I have a feeling that the coming days, maybe even going into next week, this last part of the month will be a little trying for some people. But if you hold out, it'll be very rewarding in a matter of no time at all. So hold out, buy more, do not panic. No matter what the media says, especially no matter what the media says, and no matter how compelling or convincing it is that you need to cling on to your cash, don't cling on. Don't you dare cling on. Cling to your Bitcoins, HODL your cryptos, whatever cryptos they might be, and I will see you guys on the next one. All right, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye bye.